What's a modern day scam that's become normalized and we don't realize it's a scam anymore? Hidden fees, especially in the medical and hospitality industries. Recent legislation called the No Surprises Act attempts to remedy this at least a little bit. Hospitals are now required to post their charges for common services online, among many other things. Resort fees at hotels. Hidden fees in general. I often book rooms on Orlando through online. The resort fees always pop up later. And expensive. The $88 room ends up $120 every time. Find one for $69. $120 in the end. Every time. If it ain't the resort fee, it's a $20 parking fee. Or both. Everything is a sneaky small monthly subscription. This is getting ridiculous. A one-time payment for an app or game used to be fine. Now you keep paying. Terrible for the consumer. That's the point, unfortunately. Why let the consumer pay once when you can modernize everything and force them to subscribe to use your product? Bonus points for that sweet planned obsolescence that'll force them to toss the thing every year or two when it has a software malfunction. Admin fees for completely automated services. In Australia, if you use a toll road and don't have a toll account, you get sent a toll notice with an added $10 admin fee, and if you don't pay it within the requested time frame, the admin fee goes up to $20. A $2.50 toll could end up costing you $22.50. Scam. Transaction fees when using online banking. I do all the work filling out the form, so a bank employee doesn't have to. Yet I get charged the same. We're in the golden age of consumer online banking. There are countless reputable banks that will take anyone and don't do any of this shit. I don't understand how this is still an issue for some people. Charles Schwab or Ally Bank. Spread the word. I'm with PNC and same here. No fees at all, even for a new card. Free trial auto-renewal subscriptions. I use a privacy.com virtual credit card with a one-time transaction limit and a limit of $1, so that way the charge for the subscription will be automatically declined. Years and years ago I got sent to collections for accidentally doing that. I had a 6-month subscription with 1&1. I cancelled it. My card had become invalid for other reasons. In that 6-month period, they tried to charge me again at the 6-month mark and couldn't. Then when I talked to their customer service, they acknowledged my subscription should been cancelled and that they'd fix it. Then they sent in collections for the $24. The fact that you cannot just buy software now. You buy a subscription and never actually own anything. This $126 a year to access Microsoft Office for the family now. I used to buy one CD and we'd get 3 codes to put on our computers. Good to go for years. Subscriptions for already paid apps and ads for already paid subscriptions. Looking at you. Paramount Plus PAID subscription that will lock you out if you're using an ad blocker BC. They are attempting to show ads. Raise the price of a product today before they go on sale so that people think they are getting it at a discount. Edit. Amazon is pretty bad at this. Here's an example. https://imga.com/dixtree. I try to look for deals for a small subreddit I run /r/lowest price deals, and I come across such products all the time. Some resources that might be useful. https://camel.com and https://keeper.com for price histories //ice they're in a deal. Com for game deals, also /r/game deals /r/boold sales /r/fuckup /r/freebies /r/discounted products. Extended warranty. Edit. Make sure you read the fine print what's being covered and what is considered void. If it's free though. Goddamn. I had a TV with a free 2-year warranty and it broke after 23 months. I got a full refund. 2 years is the minimum for goods in the EU. Services only with monthly subscriptions. To tag on to this, apps that are basically useless without the subscription fee, and then they are labeled free in the App Store. The in-app purchases tag is effectively useless because everything has in-app purchases now. There needs to be a subscription tag in the store to help us filter out the S. Credit scores. They started in 1989 and are designed to encourage debt. Can't believe it took so long to scroll to find someone saying this. If credit scores are meant to be a measure of how likely I'm to pay off a loan in the future, how come every time I pay off a loan, the score goes down? Surely having many loans already paid in full in my history would be the best sign that I'm a safe bet for future lenders. Oh, but my credit mix isn't as good now, because that matters somehow. Buying tech devices for premium prices, then still having to pay subscriptions to make them actually do what they are supposed to do. Enterprise gear is the worst for this. Cisco sells you a firewall for several grand and then charges huge prices for licenses. THST just unlock hardware features on the device and then makes you buy support contracts each year if you want updates. Used some software for a couple years where it was a one-time fee. Fine. It was a good deal. Then when I wanted to upgrade 5 years later, they didn't allow me to just pay for the new version. They also wanted me to pay for the previous 5 years of their subscription. Yeah, okay. That's a great way to make sure I never use or recommend you again. Since then I make sure to use open source as much as possible. Service charge for buying cinema tickets online. I've got to pay you to buy something from you? Cinema equals extra charge for using online, bank equals extra charge for not using Onlinewit. It's almost as if they have us by the balls by being the only options available. Medical insurance not covering dental or vision. Like, it's all connected. Guys, if you have a badly abscessed tooth, you're likely going to need medical care. Even if you have dental that covers the extraction or root canal or whatever. A new ones I'm experiencing is that some preventative tests are covered while others are not. Why don't you tell me that ahead of time and I can decline it? Or just cover everything. I broke a bone at work. They said it was probably soft tissue and scheduled the MRI for 3 months out. So now I've got an improperly healed bone and nothing to show for it except pain if I move the wrong way. Razor blades. Specifically Gillette. Nearly £30 for 6 of the new ones. I moved to Safety Razor. Never looked back. Exactly. Once you buy the razor, double-edged blades are cheap. About $9 or $10 for 100 Astra blades. I get 7 to 10 shades from each blade. Ticketmaster fees. My wife the other day purchased tickets from Ticketmaster for a concert she wanted to go to. She paid and received confirmation email etc. Turns out in that email it states that if you don't go 48 hours before to pick up your tickets then they are cancelled and resold without a refund. How has any company got to such a point to be able to be so cheeky and uncivilized? Bless her, she lost her tickets and good old Ticketmaster was able to sell them twice. Employers insisting that employees not talk about their salaries and job listings not posting salaries. Free trials that automatically roll over to paid subscriptions. I worked at Spotify and we used to tell customers that it was mentioned in print on the free trial implying that they are just not reading observantly. But the print is so small, it's almost an afterthought. I felt disgusted when I was there. Imagine blaming the customers. Edit, LPT, cancel your free trial as soon as you get them. The free trial will still run its course and it'll automatically revert to free once it runs out. I just assume that anything that asks for my credit card intends to charge me at some point. Instagram influencers using their kids as bait to advertise products. You want some unpopular opinion? Ryan's World is a scam to get around advertising rules. You don't need paid promotion links in there if it's just a kid playing with toys, right? Except they are his brand on which he makes hella bank. Not hating the kid, just the system that allows it. Charging a convenience fee for paying rent online. Fuck you. It's more convenient for you to. Bitch. Where's my convenience fee? Edit. Lot of people trying to explain what this fee is to me. I know what it is. You are the people for whom it's become so normalized that you no longer see it as a scam. Edit 2. The shitty site our property managers use only allows you to pay with a card. There isn't a way to pay directly from your bank account. They charge 2%. People are still trying to explain to me how this cost is to cover the fee the credit companies charge to process payments. That's the scam. but property managers are passing the buck onto their tenants. You can use your bank's online bill pay to mail paper checks for you usually. Health insurance plans that charge $500 to $1,000 a month just to be insured. Then don't start covering your bills until you've paid another $2,000 to $10,000 out of pocket. And even then will still make you pay a $45 copay. And on the provider end, your plan is delaying payment on claims, so your $500 to $1,000 a month premium is just going into the pocket of the executives and shareholders instead of healthcare providers. And behavioral health claims get most of the abuse, just in case you were wondering why so many licensed psychotherapists opt out of accepting insurance. I already gave my free daily award to the trickle-down economics comment, but if I still had it then it would go to you. I've said exactly this over and over for the past few years. I've lived in 2 different countries, the USA and a country with universal healthcare. I've also seen it firsthand working in healthcare in the USA. Unpaid internships. Worse, paid internships, where you're paying the corporation for it. Teaching. Student teaching. You pay the university so that you can student teach for half a year, or some have full year, where you don't get paid. Diamonds. There's loads of them, but apparently they are rare, so sell for major stacks. Diamonds are fascinating. They are kept artificially scarce by the people who own the diamond mines, and they've managed to somehow ensure that there's no market for selling them. Diabolical. And on top of that, they've convinced everyone that diamonds are the only worthwhile stone, and that only natural mined diamonds are worthwhile, not fake lab grown, real diamonds. There's so many fascinating rocks, and in a number of cases the actual stuff can be grown pretty inexpensively and more environmentally friendly. Hustle culture. Working 90-hour weeks and having no life outside of work is not healthy, nor is it sustainable. I just turned 50 and I have decided I've stopped trying to impress people with my work ethic. I'll work hard, of course, but I sure am not going to put in anything beyond my 8 hours if I can help it. What am I going to do? Water my plants, make my kids breakfast, take my dogs for a walk, try to make my wife laugh with corny jokes. College board. Costs money to send my scores to a school non-profit my A, and it's something ridiculous like $20. Costs you $20 to send an email. Weddings and every business tied to weddings. $30. 000 for one day, F that. Funerals too. I'll be the first one in my extended family to be cremated when I kick off just because of this. I don't need no expensive coffin for this body that's gonna rot away anyhow. Nobody else mentioned so far. Printer cartridges edit. Production costs about 20 cents to 30 cents. Selling for $15. Sometimes up to $35. Edit 2. Jesus Christ. Thanks for the award and all the upvotes. Also they say it's running low, even though there's plenty left. At my old job our printer was running low for about 2 years before we needed to replace the cartridge. Unpaid internships, especially when they are required for your education. But we pay you in experience/knowledge/exposure. You can't put a price on that. That's being greedy. Yes I can. Because my time is worth money just like yours. My first 2 summer internships were at the Coca-Cola Company headquarters in Atlanta in 1992/1993. They paid me a princely sum that I could not believe and truly gave me substantive work to do. Will be forever grateful.